changes.
Hey, happy weekend everybody at the RockstarFlipper YouTube channel. Thank you guys for joining me. And I get a lot of questions. I mentioned a friend of mine, Drive Time with Dave. He's got his YouTube channel. A lot of you are familiar with him, but a lot of people want to know his history, how he got to where he got to, and what was his process in going from nothing to reseller, multi-millionaire. I'm here at one of his homes. He owns multiple homes. This is one of his houses. This is like 7,000 square feet. I wanted to take you in and do an interview with him because I want people to see that reselling isn't just something to make a couple $100 extra, that you really can turn reselling into a life of craziness. Like, I mean, look at this crazy house, and I want to take you guys into the processes and what it takes to actually become not just a full-time reseller, but a successful seller, a seller that can run a business out of your home and actually make real money. And by real money, I don't mean $2,000 or $3,000 a month. I mean $200,000 or $300,000 a month. All right, I figured the best thing to do is give you guys kind of a little mini tour of his casa, and then we'll do an interview with him and we'll talk to him about how he got to this level. So this is the living room. They're just getting set up, so it's taking some time to get everything in place. And then obviously kitchen, right? Okay. This is so cool because not only is it built in, you guys have probably seen like the built-in fridges. Welcome home. They got this little pot filler. This pot filler thing is kind of cool. And then check this out. These things right here are actually dishwashers. Look at this. All right, so yeah, dishwashers there, and then this is kind of this pantry that lights up when you open it, and then you close it, and you open it. Some more of the cookies, but ha, Girl Scout cookies. All right, so you guys can kind of see that little thing, and then obviously we can go over here. This is kind of just a sitting room area. You guys can see outside. Pan around there. There's an entire mother-in-law suite over there. There's front entrances, dining tables. That goes upstairs. That's the kids area. I'm not going to take you guys up there, but it goes all the way up, obviously, right? And then I'm not going to take you in their private areas, but the man's office. You guys can see a little bit of that going on. It's where he gets the job done. Private bedroom suite and then private bathroom suite here that you guys can see. So this is where you want to be in life. Just a quick little tour. So now I think it's best if we sit down with the man himself and figure out how he got here, how he can motivate and inspire you guys to get to this point too. All right, so before we move to the second part of this video, I'm gonna show this. Look, this is vitamin water, but it's fire, spicy, watermelon, lime, just as a, like, hey, I need a drink before I film a video. Great, let's try this one. It's weird. It has an afterburn flavor. It's not good. I wouldn't want it if I just played sports or worked out or something. It's odd. It's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be because it says 1100 degrees, but in case you needed a full comprehensive review on fire, spicy, watermelon, lime, vitamin water, 1100 degrees, on a 1 to 10, I give it about a 3. All right, so here we are, and as I stated in the beginning of the video, I would get you guys the celeb that everybody wants to see in my videos. Nobody wants to see me anymore. They just always ask for Dave. I got asked for Dave in a bunch of videos, and I videotaped Dave about a week ago. It was last weekend when he was starting to move. He just finished moving. We are at the new place, right? Is it good to be moved? Yeah. So I promised everyone I'd bring him on the video, and a lot of people ask me, the question I get asked a lot is, can you make more than just a little bit of money buying and selling stuff?
Yes.
Can you answer for the camera?
Yes.
Yes. So a lot of people said, or I had some comments and messages that asked, doesn't Dave buy and sell stuff?
Yes.
Yes. And so the answer to the question is, can you get more than just part-time and little teeny tiny bits of money buying and selling? This is more than a little bit of money buying and selling, right?
Yes.
Yes. You seem so camera shy. See, when somebody's not on the camera for
I'm waiting for a reasonable question. That's it. I'm waiting for something. I mean, they want to know something. But
right, yeah. So the question is, and what people said, you know, Dave buys and sells, makes money. You've done eBay, you've done Amazon, you've done wholesale, you've done direct, you've done everything. And the answer to the question is, yes, you can make a lot of money. Yes, you can make way more than part-time and full-time. You can actually make a boatload of money, but what does it require that you do beyond just, oh, I'm gonna wake up today, I'm gonna buy a shirt and sell it?
It requires a lot of money.
And a lot of work. And so the two things that I always...
And
go ahead.
let's be straight about it. 22 years.
22.
22 years.
Yeah.
Not just, you know, hey, 6 months ago, I decided I'm gonna quit my job. Hey Casey, how do I go full time? I'm gonna quit my job. It's, you know, I've been selling 6 months. I've got 500-600 listings. I'm making $500 a week.
Right.
How do I go from 500 a week to, you know, and I get the same emails. Hey Dave, I want to go from, you know, making 500 a week to 10,000 a month.
Yep.
That's a huge leap.
It is.
And how many listings do you have to be able to do? Right?
Depending, I mean, everyone's different, but even a reasonable, decent amount of selling is going to take all day. It's going to take hours. Look, people's questions to me is always this, you know, the get rich quick scheme. How fast can I start making X amount of dollars? Whatever it is, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 a month, 300,000 a month, whatever it might be. It doesn't happen overnight. It took you 22 years? God.
Well, you got to think. I mean, I started $500 a week, just like everybody did. But and I've told the story, you know, I don't know, at least more than 10 times. I won't exaggerate and say 100, but maybe 100 times. I was buying and selling stuff from flea markets.
From flea markets. So,
which you just made a really great video reminding everybody that flea markets are a gold mine.
Yeah, flea markets have some good stuff. So from flea market selling and $500 a week, the two things that everyone always asks that I try to answer, it's not gonna happen overnight, and the number one piece of advice is always put all your money back in, because you had to reinvest everything.
That's right.
Otherwise, you will keep making $500. If you spend, say, $200 a week, and you make $500 or $600 in profit, and next month you keep spending $200 a week, guess how much profit you're gonna make?
Virtually the same.
$500 or $600. You're going to keep making the same amount of money. If you want to make $10,000 a month, well, what did you spend to make $10,000? If you did it, those of you that do make $10,000, it costs $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, whatever your cost of goods. If you're 20, if you're 30, if you're 40, but if you don't spend more than that, if you don't reinvest more than that, you're still going to make the same amount of money unless you get really lucky. But typically, whatever you spend, if you're not willing to spend more, you're not going to scale up. Scale, a good word. Scalability. Scale up requires more time and more money. And so to make, say, $300,000 in a month, $400,000 in a month.
In a month?
In a month, yeah. 2, 3, 4.
Sales or are you talking
sales,
about
profit, doesn't matter. Either way, you have to. You're not going to do it unless you have some. And if you have the answer to this, please tell me. You're not going to make $300,000 or $400,000 in a month by spending the same $200 or $300 a month that you're used to spending. You can't do it. And if you can and you know how, please by all means email us.
And we're not talking about like the carrying cost, the forward outlay of cash, what our cash flow really looks like. Those are not the things that we're talking about.
And those are the other things. I got a lot of people that watch and are going to watch this video that want to know about, okay, so I made it to making $5,000 or $10,000 a month. Now I want to make 20, 30, 40 or bigger numbers, or, you know, I want to hire somebody, but I don't want to spend money. I don't want to pay somebody. I don't want to.
Well, the whole, I don't want to hire somebody and I don't want to spend money, that you have to remove that from your thought process and your vocabulary, because without those two things being part of what you're doing in a simplified world, it's not possible.
You have to scale.
Casey knows better than anybody. You get stuck. He'd call me up and go, man, I'm stuck. I made $22,000 this month. I'm stuck. And I'm like, you gotta hire people. Oh, I'm not doing it. And he just does it. I picture him. I'm on the phone. I picture him doing this. He's like, there's no way. I'm not going to do it.
So this is a practice. Do as I say, not as I do. But this is a practice what I preach, because I yelled at everyone over spending 30 cents on listings that didn't want to come out and spend 30 cents times 1,000 listings. Oh my God, I got to spend $300 in listing fees or eBay fees to bump my store up, because eBay recently changed the good till canceled. And now everyone has to, you know, these auto-renewed fees or whatever. And I'm like, but that's okay if eBay charges you $100 or $200 to auto-renew those 1,000 listings or 2,000 listings, because all those are going to go up and sell. And if you don't, you're never going to sell all those, and your sales are going to go.
Yeah, it's really the cost of doing business.
Cost of doing business.
Like the amount of inventory that you're not going to sell, that you've spent the time listing, that's just, it's simply not going to sell.
Yep.
Yeah,
and for me, if I get thousands, or those of you watching, get thousands of pieces of merchandise. In fact, I have a gentleman, he knows who he is, he's going to watch this, has 3,900 pieces of unlisted merchandise. He makes $10,000, $15,000 a month, and he does all the work by himself. And I said, so why don't you pay somebody $400 or $500 a week to get all 3,900 listings up for you in a couple of months, and your $2,000 a month outlay, cost of doing business, cost of scaling, over 3 months will be $6 grand, but how much are you gonna sell in 3,900 pieces if somebody can get them all listed? And he's like, well, I'd probably do an extra $5,000 or $10,000 a month. I'm like, hello?
or you're gonna break even,
at least.
But you've covered the cost of an extra pair of hands. Some of what I've done over the years didn't actually make any money, right?
That's right.
You know, we have to take lateral steps. So I have to step over, right? So I watch my sales do this, and then I have to make another lateral movement to support those bigger sales.
Yep.
But the money I was making, it didn't move. The needle's like, that's it. The needle didn't move. It just takes the reinvestment. Sometimes it takes that extra pair of hands. We're slowly getting more done over time. Everything that we do here is time. You can't go out and source 4,000 pieces of material at a yard sale weekend. It's not possible. It takes time to source that amount of material. It takes time to list that amount of material. It takes time for it to sell.
Which is going to...
It takes time for your investment to come back. It takes time for you to reinvest. You can't just immediately go boom. It's...
Nothing happens overnight.
No.
Moral of the story, it takes time. It takes people and help. You have to build it. You can't expect to get to these big numbers that everyone asks me about. These, how do I make 10? How do I make 20? How do I make $30,000 a month by myself? If you know, please let me know, because it just doesn't happen alone. To get to big numbers and big sales, it takes, how many people do you have? Remind them?
27 people.
27 people to get to big numbers. It's serious, guys. So don't expect to get rich quick overnight. Don't expect to do it alone. You can start it alone, but at some point you have to scale. And don't expect to not have to spend any money to do it. Not just on people, but you have to spend money on more inventory. You have to spend money on equipment. You have to spend money on storage shelves, maybe on a building, maybe on a pallet jack. Who knows? But you have to spend money. Spend it to make it.
Infrastructure.
Infrastructure, yes.
And then as the money starts growing, 1 month you actually have money left over. Let's say it's $10,000. And then the next month you have $10,000 left over. The questions will start arising: do you try to buy more inventory, or do you start looking at diversifying? And I accidentally diversified. I bought a house, and over a course of 3 years, I had an opportunity to get a deal on a bigger house.
Bigger house, yeah.
So all of a sudden, I move. And so I'm like, well, I've got those $10,000 months over the course of a year and a half that I'd been sitting on, and all of a sudden I was like, well, I'm just going to keep the house. So I paid it off, and I rented it out for
another stream of income.
$1,600 a month.
Another stream of income.
That's right. So then 3 more years go by. I know this is getting a little crazy, and nobody's going to follow this. My $10,000 months were like $25,000 extra.
Yep.
And in another 3 years, I bought another house, and so now there's 2 houses.
Yep.
Right? And then 3 more years, I did it again.
Yep.
And then without moving again, I ended up buying another house. So currently, I have 5 houses that are generating between $1,600 up to 2 of the houses are $3,200 each, right? So I'm
diversify.
I'm generating about $10,000, $11,000 give or take a month in rental.
So streams of income, which we talk about. It doesn't have to be real estate. There's some people I know are buying and selling cars, which is if that's what they want to do. Right. There's tons of other things you can do. Real estate's a good example. I know you've seen some people doing real estate in our genre, in our niche. So use the reselling money, grow, expand, and also diversify streams.
That's part of creating wealth.
Streams of income.
You have to leverage. There's a point when your sales get so big, you will not be operating out of your pocket.
Hopefully.
So the reality is when you're doing $50,000 a month in sales, there's a reality that by then, whatever bank this money's going into, one day you're going to walk into the bank and they're going to go, has anybody talked to you about a business line of credit? And you're going to say, well, no. And they're going to go, well, let me tell you how that works. They're going to take a look at this 600 and something thousand in sales at 30% profit and go, we're going to loan you $200,000.
Yep.
And all of a sudden now you have working capital that's not yours that you'll be paying some 4% interest on.
Time to get a rental property.
And at that point, you have a big amount of cash.
Yep.
You could either invest it in inventory, or you take it and you invest it into something that'll generate a secondary income. That's where you start looking at adding on platforms or software that'll increase your sales, or
pallets.
Right. All of a sudden you're buying bulk tractor trailer loads of material, right? Yeah. You're hiring more people and you're getting into a bigger building.
So
whatever the scalability would be.
That's the answer. Scale it up. And everyone wants to know, is it really possible to do something big with this? It is absolutely possible. And everyone that asked, it was the perfect time to get them on camera, because everyone asked, is it possible to make a lot of money, scale up and get big? And well, I'm working my way there. Hopefully I'll get there soon in the next couple of years. But in the meantime, you're welcome everyone for putting him back on camera. I can't say he's going to be on his own channel, because that's what everyone asked me, is when you're going to be on your own channel. It's tough. It's when you're busy and you've got 5 kids, and the fact that we're recording right now in complete silence.
Well, as everybody will notice I keep looking because I'm watching
them go back and forth.
There's probably 10 kids right now running back and forth, and I'm waiting for somebody to bust the door open and come out here and attack me like I'm a chicken leg. I gotta be honest.
But this was the only chance we got, so I figured I'd give you guys a minute. I'd show the man back on the video, and if you have questions, leave them in the comments. I'll ask him. I'm not going to bombard his email box, but I will ask him myself if you leave them in the comment section below if you have questions for him, and then I will get you answers, and I'll answer them in the comment section below as well. So leave them there if you want any questions answered about scaling, growing, making more than just a couple hundred or a couple thousand a month, what it takes, what it's like, etc., or anything else you saw in the video. So I think we're gonna eat, right?
Yes.
We're gonna eat.
That's it.
We'll see you guys next time. I'm gonna get this video up. Hopefully you see it on Sunday night. What's today, the 23rd? Yeah, March 23rd, 2019. Everyone loves when I tell them the date so they know when they're watching this. So March 23rd, 2019. Hopefully you see it tonight. Say bye to all the nice people.
Goodbye.
Bye, nice people.